Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. It's Wednesday, so it's a bad joke day. This priest, this minister, and this rabbi are all talking about how they don't feel any challenge anymore in getting new congregants. So they decide they want to do something to really up the ante of how they're going to show who's better at getting new people into their congregation. So they said, what should we do? They said, listen, let's not just try to get a human being. Let's do something really crazy. Why don't we try to convert a grizzly bear? They say, all right, fine, let's do it. So the priest goes out first, and then he comes back later, and he has like a bear on a leash. It's like a dancing bear, and he says, it was no problem whatsoever. I made the sign of the cross over the bear, sprinkled him with some holy water. He laid down like a puppy. I scratched his belly, and now he's peaceful as can be, member of the Catholic Church. All right. Next, the minister goes out. He also comes back with a bear, riding the bear like it's a horse. He says, it was no problem. Are you kidding me? I just opened the holy word, read him some words of Jesus. He got it immediately, tame as could be. Now he's a member of our congregation. Fantastic. Well, the rabbi goes out next. He's gone for a long time. And by the time he gets back, he comes in, he's bandaged from head to foot with his arm in a sling on a crutch, and he's walking like this. And I said, my God, Rabbi, what happened to you? He says, well, now in retrospect, I realize I shouldn't have started with a circumcision. Give me a rim shot for that one. All right. As always, I'm struggling as I stumble toward the light with how affirmation works, especially the part of affirmation that says whatever I experience is the outpicturing of my own thoughts and belief. So why I was experiencing sickness or a problem with relationships, I still don't understand this. But I do know that my heartfelt conviction is that I demonstrate what I give mental assent to, and not just my pious opinions about stuff. The only part of whatever religious or spiritual life that I feel is real is the part that I express in my daily life. And I receive the benefit of that by practicing it. So I build up the thoughts every day that I want to entertain as I go through life. And then I voluntarily do what I believe is the best I'm capable of doing and putting out the highest ideal that I know. So I try to realize that fact and express it in every word, every deed. Not always my thoughts, but I still try to cultivate the thoughts and bring it into my social life and relationships. So with that being true, I also free myself from resentment. I fully and freely forgive anybody that's ever insulted me or hurt me, done any kind of harm to me. I don't want to carry that around. I don't want them to be a slave to my negative thoughts. So I release them, let them be free as I want to be free. And that brings me into what it means to be an elder. I said this whole week is about the elder archetype. One of my old phrases from John Bradshaw is, if you witnessed abuse, you're a victim of abuse. And so we've all heard and seen so many things in the media and in life that make us realize, even if we've never had something perpetrated on us, just by knowing that exists, ooh, it stings so much. So I've had to learn how to take care of that in my own life. Fortunately, all elders give practices. It's not just words that you hear. They ask you to do certain things. And by doing those things, you start studying it, but you end up embodying it. And that's what ritual initiation is all about. Even in the Gospels, it says, where you stumble, that's where your heart is. Your treasure is where you stumble. And so I've continued to look in the past and currently anything in my life that hangs me up, messes me up, makes me drop the ball, not live to the highest ideals. That's the only way I can learn how to domesticate my own intuition. There are no pre-digested answers. I have to work through the material. I have to, you could say, fight it, combat it, challenge it mentally, learn to think for myself, learn to struggle with my own inner demons, which, as Joseph Campbell would say, are ubiquitous, right? The things that could pull us down, distract us, take us away from the path, close our heart, they're everywhere. But if you learn to do that, you'll end up speaking with authority. and you'll end up with a certain kind of humility. As my Buddhist teacher says, humility is the absence of anyone to be either humble or proud. Great idea. Love that. And yet, at the same time, I completely am in touch with what I call my inner trickster, the part of me that has natural defiance to any restraint to my freedom. And I usually try to undermine anything that prevents me from being free to express myself. And what I've learned is that through my wounds, there's a phrase, I think it's from William Blake, that says, if a tree survives the blight and ends up bearing fruit, let no one say that the fruit is a consequence of the blight. So before I go, remember, for all of us, we're not wounded everywhere. So find that part of yourself that still could celebrate life, do the inner work, and then get back to letting your best self, funniest self, wisest self, sanest self, most compassionate self, most understanding self bring your gift to the world.